next thought is very, very powerful. When I first heard it, quite some time back, which is what brought me to you. Is that four thing? Don't believe. There was an image on Facebook. And I said, "Wow, who's this person who said this four thing?"
Oh, yes.
Where you were not shaved in
the
picture
with the mic.
I don't know, but yeah, I said, wow.
I was shaved.
You were shaved.
Yes.
You were shaved. And that was the thing that I said, wow, what's this? Who's this teacher? What's this teaching? That post kind of brought me to. And at that time, it was a nice idea, interesting, but I'm gradually seeing the potency of it, apart from daily life, and also in any kind of meditation practice, to integrate that idea of don't believe the next thought. Is this God pretending to be a person? The awareness in the eye, the watching, the rising and passing away of phenomena. And so it occurred to me, well, meditation instructions have been given, It's not that it's not, and so I thought I'll just share and cross-check with you whether these are it, or you have something to add to it, or whether you have some more instruction that you can share, which is helpful in practice of formal meditation. I think that is also important, apart from the reflection and this. To my mind, that practice is also of much importance because it brings the reflections to life. So, do you have some?
I'm very happy to hear you because it's clear to me that you have been listening very well. It's very good. I want to say that because there might be this question, but why doesn't he say that these are instructions for meditation? These pointings, I keep saying these pointings are there. It is because it is very easy for us to pick up the meditator perspective, the meditator identity, the practitioner identity. And these pointings are more direct than that. And yet, if the feeling is there that I must practice something, then these pointings are meant for that as well. So for some, it might be that you hear those three basic questions. The first one is, how do I get rid? How am I to be rid of my suffering? And the pointing is, don't believe your next thought. And when this is heard, for some of you, it can be heard like this, that this is beautiful instruction for me to follow formally. And for some of you, it might feel like it is just pointing to our most natural state in day-to-day life. So the potency of it, as you start playing with it, becomes very clear. It is only sometimes the simplicity of it makes it seem a little bit elusive. It seems like this cannot be one of the great pointings. Don't believe your next thought. It sounds like a bumper sticker. But actually, just in this, you will find that suffering, identity, ego, all of these very quickly start sounding like alien concepts. Just in not believing the next thought. Also, what happens is that there's a part 2 to this pointing, which is that most of my thoughts I am able to let go of now with this without giving it belief. But there are certain sticky ones which it seems like belief goes to it too fast, or it just happens on its own. It doesn't seem like I am giving it belief. It seems like belief is automatically presented to these. So the second part of this pointing is that those which are recurring, sticky conditioning, strong identity, then those thoughts we pull into the inquiry. So the thought could be, I am not free yet. So we pull this thought into the inquiry and say, who is this I who is not free? And we inquire and inquire and inquire till the point when this thought comes, I am not free yet, it becomes trivial, it becomes laughable, it loses all its juice. So, in this way, there is no one who can go through these two parts of the pointing and still survive with their suffering. It is just not possible. Then the second question is, what about consciousness or God or Atma? It seems like I am free from suffering, but how do I discover this? I am in this for God. How can I find God? And the way that we define God is this consciousness, the presence I am. And it was clear to me that in looking for being, from personal experience, direct experience, it was clear that when we go looking for being, it can seem very confusing. Therefore, I prepared the question in this way. I said, can I stop being now? Can you stop being now? And when asked in this way, it becomes very clear no, being is here, cannot be stopped. Presence is here, I am present. I am. So, very quickly, by inverting the question, we come to the point very directly. I am. And for many, this discovery of being is enough. In fact, there are many paths which just stop here. This is the end. Many traditions which just come to this point. And yet, for some of you, this question might arise. It can seem like I am aware even of this being. Some of you might say, even this being, I am not. I am aware of it. And for those of you who are looking for this absolute self, I have another simple pointer which is, are you aware now? Am I aware now? And upon hearing these for the first time, it might seem like these are very simple. But they are so profound that no sense of ego, no sense of personhood can survive. For those who have sincerely asked themselves these questions, who have sincerely contemplated on these. And this discovery must come after open contemplation on these. This discovery becomes very clear. So I call it the two A's, the capital A of awareness and the small a of appearance. And it is seen that no matter what this appearance might be bringing, what appearance in the world, what appearance in the mind as thoughts, what appearance as feelings, emotions, sensations, no matter what the appearance is, I as awareness remain untouched, unmoved by this plea. So these are the core of the pointing in some way. But because different expressions of consciousness have different ways of using these, I have not prescribed a formal practice out of them. See, because there are many who are stuck for a long time with the sense that I must become better at my practice. My practice is evolving every day, it's getting deeper. Then the practitioner identity then comes strongly. Because I don't actually feel that there could be anyone who could just look at these simple pointings and just in a few days or weeks not be free from their delusion. So even if it is a practice, it's very short term. Then once in a while something can come up, and then you can look at it again and say, what is being believed? Which thought have I picked up again? Then it's just some sort of a weekly or monthly or yearly maintenance. Once the cleanup has happened. So these are now seated with you, and you play with them, experiment with them, see how you're guided internally. And at least for don't believe the next thought, this will become more and more natural. Whether you're sitting formally or you're just moving around, even working, you'll find that this is the natural state of not believing the next thought. The doing was in the believing. This is the dropping of the doing.
I didn't mean it that this is only relevant for.
Yes, yes, I know. I have to always put that word of caution in because there are many who are even now waiting for some going away instructions. Now that the retreat is ending, so what should I now do after this? But what we are pointing to is more direct than even that. Of course, these pointings are with you, they are not going anywhere and can always be used. But right now, as you can see, I am this awareness which is the witness of all of this, and nothing can take me away. Then your practice actually might be a non-practice practice. You just in an instant you check. There's nothing, you didn't even sit in meditation, nothing. Just not even the question, who am I, was asked, and you already checked. So instantly, this checking is possible. Like we talked about the checking for where the sun is rising from. You see? But we don't have to wait for a particular time. The sun in this metaphor is already always here. So it could just be that through the day, in the middle of an email, while walking to work, just you checked 100 times. So not even, I'll jokingly say sometimes, not even who am I, sometimes just who. And you check. Sometimes just who. And you already checked. The inquiry doesn't have to be who am I. It can start like that. It's okay. Because initially it is cutting through all the mental resistance. So it's fine to chop all of that off. But then there's so much clarity that even the entire question, who am I, is not needed. It's just the feeling to check, and the checking happened. So would you call that a practice? Maybe, maybe not. It just becomes more and more natural.